Long before the sun and moon existed, a divine, living light illuminated the realm of Valinor. It poured from two colossal trees, Telperion the silver and Laurelin the gold. This constant, unshadowed radiance was the original state of the world. The elven craftsman Fëanor achieved the impossible by capturing the blended dew of these two trees. He wove that living light into a crystalline substance called silima, forging three indestructible gems known as the Silmarils. To protect their beauty, the gods hallowed the gems with a strict physical law. The stones would fiercely burn any flesh that was evil, impure, or attempted to hold them without right. By bottling the absolute peak of divine beauty into a physical object, Fëanor created a massive gravity well for greed. Absolute perfection, it seemed, could only exist for so long before attracting a predator. That predator was a rogue god named Melkor. He descended upon the realm with the primordial spider Ungoliant, a creature driven by a hunger that could consume light itself. Ungoliant plunges her fangs into the trunks and drains the life from the trees. In moments, the world's only divine light is extinguished forever. While Valinor is blinded by grief, Melkor coordinates a second strike. He murders Fëanor's father, the High King, and shatters the royal vaults to steal the three Silmarils. Melkor escapes to Middle-earth and embeds the gems into a massive iron crown. But because the Silmarils actively repel evil, the holy light sears his flesh, leaving the Dark Lord in a state of perpetual burning agony. Now the universe enters a dark age. The only remaining fragments of pristine light are now trapped against the brow of a god who suffers every second he wears them. Standing in the dark ruins of Valinor, Fëanor's grief twists into a destructive obsession. He renames his enemy Morgoth, the black foe of the world, and demands his people follow him into exile to reclaim the jewels. To ensure his crusade never falters, Fëanor and his 7 sons swear a blood oath to the Supreme Creator. They pledge to slaughter anyone, whether elf, demon, or deity, who withholds a Silmaril from them. This oath functions as a terminal logic. It overrides all mercy and morality. When Fëanor needs ships to reach Middle-earth, and a neighboring elven clan refuses to hand them over, the logic of the vow dictates their immediate execution. The marble docks of Alqualande are stained with blood, as the elves massacre their own kin to secure their passage. Upon reaching Middle-earth, Fëanor burns the fleet. He strands his followers on a hostile continent, ensuring that every person who stepped off those ships is now trapped in a war that can only end in death. The pursuit of holy light had successfully corrupted the elven race. Their greatest creators were now murderers, bound by a vow that made their own self-destruction a mathematical certainty. In Middle-earth, the war is a meat grinder. The elven armies spend centuries crashing against Morgoth's fortress of Angband, yet they cannot even reach the gates. The only successful breach is a stealth mission. A mortal man named Beren manages to infiltrate the Dark Lord's throne room and pry a single Silmaril free from the Iron Crown. At the gates, Beren is intercepted by Morgoth's greatest werewolf, Karkaroth. The beast bites off Beren's hand and swallows it, along with the gem. The reaction is instantaneous. The hallowed light of the Silmaril violently rejects the werewolf's demonic stomach, burning Karkaroth from the inside out, and driving the beast into an apocalyptic, pain-fueled rampage across the land. The Silmarils act as a physical litmus test for the soul. They do not negotiate with the intent or hunger of the creature holding them. If the vessel is corrupt, the reaction is always fire. The War of Wrath eventually brings the conflict to a close, but the scale of the power involved shatters the landmass. Entire regions of the continent sink beneath the ocean as the divine host finally overthrows Morgoth. Morgoth is cast into the void, and the final 2 Silmarils are recovered from his crown and placed under the guard of the victorious army. Maedhros and Maglor, the only surviving sons of Fëanor, are now broken men. But the oath does not care about their exhaustion. It forces them to sneak into the victor's camp and steal the remaining jewels. They slay the guards and lay their hands on the gems, believing that after centuries of slaughter, they have finally fulfilled their vow and reclaimed their birthright. The ultimate weight of the tragedy falls at the moment of success. When the brothers finally lay hands on their birthright, the jewels provide a final, agonizing verdict on what they have become. As Maedhros and Maglor grip the stones, the hallowed light violently sears their hands. The gems had hallowed the very hands that created them, but they rejected the hands that had been stained by kinslaying. The brothers realized that in their hunt for light, they had become the very darkness the jewels were made to repel. Maedhros, unable to bear the truth, casts himself and his Silmaril into a volcanic chasm. Maglor hurls his own gem into the deep sea, wandering the shore forever in a state of regret. The first Silmaril, the one recovered from the wolf, had already been set into the sky to burn as a star, forever out of reach of mortal hands. True perfection cannot be hoarded or possessed. To survive a world of corruption, the holy light was eventually sorted back into the foundations of Arda, divided between the sky, the deep earth, and the sea.